Boy.
If we're pregnant, speak up.
Sexy. Only records, yeah. You say you're Nina Johnny, you not get no money. I say don't come show yourself. You just see sharp boy, you won't come to smoke all the shisha. Don't come show yourself.
Welcome to Bola TV. Today is going to be a special interview here with one of the president's appointees. I will allow him to introduce himself and we'll proceed with this broadcast.
Thank you very much, Bola TV, for affording me this opportunity and also coming out here. My name is Alpha Escali, and I did receive a communication from the president-elect because he haven't been inaugurated yet, even though he haven't installed, as per the Constitution and that of the Election Commission. But yeah, I'm still going to hold that, and I stand to be corrected. I did receive a communication, which was an appointment for a specific position, which we are still contemplating as to whether to accept or not.
I will turn to my guest. My guest, can you introduce yourself before we can proceed with this interview?
Thank you very much, Mr. Bullet. Welcome to my residence. My name is Maurice Vani, resident of Arizona. I've been here since 2016 up to present. Yeah.
Mr. Alpha, I call you first. Thanks for accepting the interview to be interviewed by Bola TV. But let me ask you, first I need to know, why all the attacks on Mr. Maurice Vani? And do you think the president was in error, or can we question the president's judgment for Maurice Vani appointment?
Okay, so I'm going to start like this. I believe in all fairness, in looking at the current situation and standpoint of the community. I must be honest with you and say I'm not attacking anybody.
Well, the reason why I say that, man, every interview I did, even though during the elections time, I saw you on him during the debate, you were on him also too. I mean, what's going on?
Yeah, I do.
That's why I'm asking you.
I'm questioning him and holding him to a particular point, but I'm not attacking him. So I would just go straight into that since he asked that question. And good thing this is Bola TV and it's always raw.
So I would just get it
Again, thank you very much. So my problem with Maurice Vani, Mr. Maurice Vani, is this. This young man was elected as one of the board members. And within their own chamber, he emerged as the Secretary General for the board, with which, from the Constitution, the Board of Directors stands to be one of the highest operating arm within the association. And notwithstanding, being the Secretary General for that board gave you a huge task and responsibility, which is not just limited only to the board, but also to the community. Serving in that position with that capacity entrusted in you by the audience or by the members of this association, and failing to come with a proper resignation letter or proper statement of resignation, not just to the association, but also to the board of directors, the committee or the board in which he was serving or representing, that question his ability. And also, that's my point from which I came. Like, bro, if you have served this and you feel like you're tired or the board was dishonest to you in certain capacity, and now you want to change this,
I want
a proper resignation letter. So my point or my question always on this individual is, sir, if you say you were tired, why not resign peacefully? And that also goes to the chairman of that particular board of director or president or whatever way they're gonna call it. Same thing, resign peacefully. Send in a formal communication of your resignation so we can understand, like, okay, you no longer
so let me ask you a question.
Your reasons for not serving as well.
So you're saying the man has not resigned up to now?
He has not resigned formally.
Okay.
Sending us run-on message.
Where did he send that message?
In the general chat room.
So he resigned in the chat room, just sent a text message?
He sent a text message in the general chat room
that you were resigning.
That I'm no longer, which I stand to be corrected, Secretary General for the board. I resign.
Right into the call. Mr. Vanny, why do you think Mr. Colley is attacking you all over the place every chance he gets?
I don't know. I have not sat with Mr. Colley to know what he wants. I saw on the association website, because a Facebook group chat, after I was appointed by the president, he said, why the president had to appoint me as secretary on the ad hoc committee that's supposed to review the constitution, the Liberian Association constitution. But I don't know what the issues are. So I only saw him, but I don't know already.
He been attacking since the election and the debate. I saw you and him going back and forth at it. And even one time, if you watch the documentaries I've been doing, he comes in there with questions and just going after you. I told you, you guys have anything personal going on? What's going on? Let the audience are curious to know.
Actually, I think the issue you raised one time was, he said, why I had to resign from the board. I told him that is my constitutional right. I served the board for almost 2 years. So I wanted to involve myself into the active politics. So I couldn't serve as member of the board, secretary of the board, to run campaign for another candidate. So I chose to resign.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, Mr. Vanny, address the camera because those are the people that you're talking to, because those are things that are out there that was captured in the documentaries that I did that people are curious about. What was your role in the last administration? Now you have been appointed as Secretary General of the Constitution Review. First, did you resign the position? If not, why? And if you did, how did you resign?
Yeah, okay, definitely. I was appointed. I was elected as board member. That was 2 years ago. I served on the board, but my responsibility as enshrined within the area constitution to provide check and balance and pass budget. So definitely I perform my responsibility.
What was your role? What was your particular role? What was the role you're playing? Were you just a common board member?
No, as I was elected as board member. So among us, the area constitution says, after the election of the board members, so the board can, among themselves, they can elect officials. So I was elected as one of the officials on the board, the secretary.
The Secretary General of the board?
Yes.
Of the Liberian Association. That was on the last administration, Steve Boley's administration.
Right.
Okay, thank you. Now, did you resign?
Definitely, I resigned. I told my co-workers, people that I work with, definitely in the chat room, I sent in my resignation and also transmitted it to the group chat.
When you say you sending your resignation, did you send your resignation as a resignation letter or you just went text? Because one of Mr. Alpha Colley's allegation is that you just went tap in the group chat and I resign.
So I think there is no specific way, to resign, to say, oh yes, you got to resign by written letter or written letter to the board chair or written letter to the body. So, so there is no definite, ways to say, oh, there's a way to resign. So my letter of resignation is, I just tap, I send it to the group chat. Because,
So, are you saying because it was not defined per the Constitution or by the board requirement as to how to resign, you decided to just type your resignation as a text and put it in the WhatsApp group chat of the Liberian Association?
Definitely, just of information, yes, information.
So that's how you resign?
Yeah. So I could resign verbally, by saying the verbally, I said I resign, but just with respect, so I wrote my colleagues in the board, especially the chairman for the board, I informed him about my resignation.
Yeah. Okay, and what did he say? Who was the chairman at that time?
I think he's still the chairman or something. Erete.
So Erete was the chairman then?
Yes.
That you verbally told that you were resigning?
Definitely. I wrote.
You wrote him?
Yes, definitely. Yes.
You mean you wrote him an official letter letting him know you're resigning?
I wrote him, yes.
So if we go to Eric tomorrow and ask him he able to show proof, do you have proof?
When you say letter, what
when you say you wrote him,
yes, definitely.
The same form as the same way you put it in a WhatsApp group, or it was a text message you sent to him because you said you wrote him.
There's when you say resign, I want you to be clear. So there is any specific way somebody can resign?
Well, I'm the interviewer here.
Yeah,
so this is the thing, right? There are some elected position, especially when the people constitutionally elect you, when you serve in the organization, right? Since they elected you, they voted for you. Because according to you, they elected you. The professional and appropriate way, if you don't want to be in our job anymore or you want to resign, you write there and say, "Yo, thank you for electing me, but attending my resignation and the reason as to why you are resigning." Now, that's why I'm asking you. There's not such a specific way to resign. I don't know what your board constitution says. That's why I specifically asked you.
Okay, so if you went through the constitution, the Liberian constitution, I told you there's no specific way to resign.
So you can, anybody can ever go and text in the text message and just say
that. So in life of the individual, how you want to resign. So
that's what I'm saying.
So in life of the individual, how you want to resign. So but the issue, the issue should be my performance.
Well, we'll get to that.
But it's inconsequential. You can't say, sorry, by resignation, in case I get decided to say, okay, yes, I resign. But I didn't respect, I wrote something.
We will get to your performance. But what is lingering over you now that making your colleague to question this appointment by the president now is the way you resign from the position that the people elected you to serve.
Okay.
He said it was unprofessional. He said, as a professional person who was elected, you should not send a text message. Even when I was saying you wrote in the chat group, run-on sentences. If I stand to be corrected. So that's why I'm asking you this question. But say you said there were no specific guidelines as to how an individual can resign. So you decide to resign the way you want to resign.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now, so what do you think? Right? Do you think the president was in error to appoint that guy, to appoint Mr. Maurice Vani? Can we question the president's judgment for Maurice Vani appointment?
I would go like this, right? I will start with this. Mr. Vani wasn't appointed in the first place and failed to serve. That's what I would say. Because I had an informal conversation with the outgoing chairman for the board. And he confirmed that Mr. Vani did not resign. Mr. Vani was in constant meetings with the board.
So let me ask, who is the person now? You said
the person of Eric
who?
T.
Okay, perfect.
So again, with that backdrop, it has his whole leadership in service to this community to be questioned. So if we would go back there and then see his name to surface
by the president, he being appointed by the president.
That my name is also on the listing that my name is also part of.
Let's get to the question. Was the president in error? Do we question the president's judgment for making this man, for choosing this man?
I want to question the president when it reached
his judgment.
When it reached that. How did he reach to that point? Was this decision based on nepotism? Was this decision based on consensual agreement with his entire team? Was there any back and forth communication or kind of hitches when it came to coming up with listings?
Okay, so let's say the president you to your concern in the LA WhatsApp group chat on the 31st of January, right, 2024, and take back Mr. Vani's appointment. Will you accept the appointment by the president? Because you wrote in there that you are not going to accept your appointment if Mr. Vani is unactive. You can't work with an individual, according to you, who writes run-on sentences and then resigns in a WhatsApp group. So let's say the president
it's not just about the WhatsApp group, but inappropriate resignation, which is dishonesty to the board and the body of this association.
So my question is, if the president you told your pressure, because you are in WhatsApp group there and saying the memo, you're not going to accept the job until the president take that.
I had 3 conditions that are laid.
Oh, now you're adding conditions because
no. To the WhatsApp group and to the president, I had a separate.
You're talking to the chairman, not to me, sir.
I'm having an interview with you.
I
had a separate conditions that were laid. Firstly, I highlighted people that have been omitted or kind of neglected from the community. I highlighted those guys who have always raised concern, who have always been eager to come over, but they have been left out. That was number 1. Number 2, I highlighted a point that the current administration, I'm eager, I'm happy, I'm willing to work with them, but with one key condition.
Will Maurice Vani be one of them?
And Maurice Vani is the number 1 issue or number 1 statement, honor that key problem because he refused to apologize to the community. He refused to serve the community, and he inappropriately and disrespectfully stepped aside from a position that he was elected to, which is dishonesty to his own side of leadership and also the association as well.
Okay. So you're saying if the president yield to you and take him back, you will work with the administration?
If president can yield to that, or not the president, but him in particular.
No, but the man was saying that man, bring the president appointed him. How you bring him? If the president not appointed him, you think you'll be at that position? I understand the point where he say he needs to appoint, but guess what? Who appointed him?
The president so in his team. I want to accept it was the president and his team and not the president alone.
No. The president is the final decision maker.
If the president acted alone, that's dictatorship, and then we are going to question that.
Okay, so if yes, what if another? Okay, let's say yes, the president yield to you and take Maurice Vanny back, right? What if another issue comes out again with another appointee? What will you do? If no, then why then attack? If no now, right? Let's say no, even if the president take the man back, you're not going to come there, right? Why attack the president for appointing Maurice Vanny? What if another issue comes again? Will you still attack again?
So here's my thing. I'm not attacking an individual.
Okay, why are you going after him?
I'm attacking the process. I just want this process to be right. And here's the thing. The underlying factor over here is the community. I want things to be done right for the community. I want a right-footed path that will be laid so that tomorrow other people can look at it. We yearn for change. Number one thing the president and his team spoke about all through during the campaign up to the debate time was change and failures. If you want to change from failure to positivity to yielding fruit, you don't have to start on that same foot. The first mistake was which was the board election.
Okay. One of the things you will be doing per this position, you are being appointed to now by the president, right?
Right.
Is to build consensus on the amendment to the LAA Constitution, which is the Liberian Association Constitution, right?
Right.
And develop report, etc. Now, your appointment being questioned by Mr. Alpha Cody, who, if he accepts his appointment, is to work with you. For you not resigning, your last appointment, the appropriate way in the past, according to him. Right? How can you then believe you will be the best, you are the best to be appointed for the role that you come into play right now?
I think my appointment was based on my competence, judging from the fact the executive definitely, I believe that they saw my work when I used to serve as board member. So based upon my work in the community and my experience. So definitely, yes, it was based upon that they appointed me.
So you think the president appointed you based on your past performance?
Performance and experience.
Can you tell me about the time in your previous role that you had a significant impact on our community, this Liberian Association community, the Liberian community within Arizona? Can you tell me a time that you have a significant impact on the community?
Okay, let me give you a brief history. When I came to Arizona, that was 2016. The middle of 2016, I attended the first meeting when Alvin Tour, he was the president for the Liberian Association. So right in that meeting, they appointed me to serve as member on the constitutional committee.
So there's a second that means
definitely.
Okay, so tell me how you impacted the committee.
Yes, I was appointed. We had the first meeting when Erite was the chairman on that committee.
Again?
Yes.
The same Erite?
Erite.
So you've been chairman on that same committee for two?
No, it was an ad hoc committee. The Constitutional Committee is an ad hoc committee. That can be appointed by the president.
Okay, wow.
So the president appointed Erite to chair the committee, and also I was a member of that committee. So I served on I attended the first meeting. We make our own input. From there, the second meeting, I didn't have time because I was going through some difficulties. So I couldn't continue. Yeah. But I did at the first meeting.
Mr. Morris, you're talking to the people.
No, just you're the interviewer.
Well, I'm interviewing, but I'm asking the question.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So yes, I attended one of the meetings. So the rest of the other meetings I didn't attend because I was going through family issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, but you still didn't answer my question. How did your previous role you had had a significant impact on the community.
Okay,
Let me read the question to you. Tell me about the time in your previous role that you had a significant impact on our community, this Liberian community.
Okay, when I served.
So I understand you got appointed, you served, but how did you impact the community?
On the board, when I served as Secretary General, I was not elected as Secretary first of all. Then people elected me as board member. Among my colleagues, they saw the competence. So it was based upon that they elected me as Secretary. And while serving as Secretary, I performed. I was one of those that provided my that executed my responsibility as Secretary for the board, provided check and balance. Sorry. Yeah. So the 2 years I served, I executed my responsibility as instrument in the Constitution, check and balance, pass budget. Yes, I perform that responsibility.
So, by you passing the budget, we're still going to remain the budget. How did it impact our community?
Yeah, because the association, the executive team cannot work in isolation. They need budget, and that budget can only be passed approved by the board. So I perform that is one of the responsibilities.
So when you pass that budget, how did it impact the community?
They had July 26 event.
Okay. Yes. Oh, now that we got to that place, what are the most important skill set you have that you think made the person to appoint you or may you qualify for the appointed position now?
Okay, first of all, my education. I have my first degree in criminal justice, so I'm very much informed when it comes to legalistic issues. So definitely, based upon that, I will perform.
So you have your first degree in criminal justice. Yes. What's your level of education? When you say degree, like what kind of a degree?
Okay, bachelor degree.
Bachelor's degree from which school?
AM Zhang University.
And when year was that?
2015.
We talked about it, we highlighted the issues, we talked about the inappropriate and dishonesty of this particular individual.
What did the president say when you spoke to him?
We did talk about it, and the promise was to work on it and handle it. Unfortunately,
work on it and handle it by taking it, by calling back
adhering to what we discussed.
And what was that? To make sure that man is not
sure he is replaced with another qualified, competent person. There are a lot of people in the communities who are eager and willing to work. This is not the only person. He's not the only person.
So this is what I'm coming on. You have also been appointed as a director of communication, media, and publicity. Do you think this was the best way to channel your disagreement with the president over Mr. Vani or about Mr. Vani?
Within the chat room? By going to the chat room? By
going to the chat room and continue to go there. Because after he spoke, according to you, he told you what you were going to do, right?
Yeah, he promised.
Yeah, so
he never lived up to the promise.
Has Mr. Vani been accepted yet? Has he accepted the appointment?
So, from my communication I saw, I will speak directly to that. Most of the communication, which I will hold like that might be the case, but I stand to be corrected. The communication comes and speak and make you understand like your appointment comes with immediate effect. That means you stop working right away.
So basically what you say is wherever communications you receive, you believe or assume that it's the same kind of communication that Mr. Vani sent out. Is it in the chat room or you're assuming that Mr. Vani?
I receive a communication from
them,
the
for you.
team.
And it says start with immediate effect.
And
do you think is that the same thing that said for Mr. Vani?
In a laid down condition. And then I'm telling you right now, I'm assuming that's the same kind of voidings that was sent out.
Okay. So what are the skills you have that you think made the president appoint you, or what qualification do you have? What made you think the president picked you to do that particular job? What skills upon qualification you think you bring to the table that made the president say, you know what happened? Mr. Alpha Colley would be better suitable for this position. So I will appoint him.
From his perspective, I can come up with a specific thing. I don't know what exactly he has seen I'm yet to have a conversation with him. We should be talking like over the weekend before he makes his trip to Tucson. And that after that discussion, I should be coming up with a final as to whether I'm going to stay within his confine as per his appointment, or I'm going to be like stepping aside to give another person a chance. But with myself and looking at my own joining and calculating my own capacity, I'm gonna tell you like, yeah, I have worked in this field before, or this particular aspect of leadership before, and it's not strange to me. It's something that I can do. I can deliver the track records are there. I'm not like other Liberians that are gonna brag about education and so forth. Me, I talk about performance more than education. I'm not degrading education. I'm not saying it's not valid. It is. But education without performance of what you claim about is irrelevant. So with that, I have served from the Liberian Student Association to the Federation of Liberian Youth to the Youth Advisory Board at the United States Embassy near Monrovia, to USA Youth Advisory Board, and also to the Environmental Protection Agency Youth Committee, and have also served within the Andrew Burke Youth Deck. So with this, I have been in the confine working in different capacities and aspects. I have understand the nitty-gritty of communication, the importance of it, and what it takes to strengthen an organization in terms of communication. So yes.
Stop it. According to research I did on you, you serve as the regional coordinator at the African Citizen Empowerment Foundation. It is how you communicated your grievances about some of the citizens you were appointed to coordinate when you were not satisfied with their appointments.
Chani, Mr. Chani, I say to never don't control yourself. You say you young for your sling on and papa bob. I say don't control yourself.
So at that level, serving as coordinator more like it's equivalent to a president position. So I worked with a team that did proper research and analysis about findings within the community. Our main focus was directed to two aspects, education and the environment. And then when I speak about the environment, I'm talking about, we have a specific portion talking about climate change and youth empowerment. So with that, we implemented projects and try to empower citizens. And our citizens focus directly on youth. And youth in Africa that we were working with was from the age of 18 to 31. So directly, yes. We had our own channel of communication. Again, I will say this. When it comes to communication and chain of communication, every organization has its own ranks and file and its own chain of command as to where, how, and why you're trying to do grievances. So we had our own platform set, and being the coordinator for that region, I have my own code of officers, and I have my own team that I work with, and we knew how we work and how we channel our grievances and how we handle them. It's not just about channeling them. It's about paying attention to key grievances that come about.
So from basically what I'm saying, the reason why I asked you this question, because you serve, according to my research done on you, right? You serve as the regional coordinator of African Citizen Empowerment Foundation. Mm-hmm. The question still with me. Is this how you communicated your grievances, like you're doing with Mr. Vanny now, in WhatsApp group, even on raw video? Wait, let me finish now. Mm-hmm. No. With some of the citizens you were appointed to coordinate when you were not satisfied with that appointment, mm-hmm. Is that how you channel your grievances? Did you go to like take on social media after talking to some of the people that made the appointment, or go in other WhatsApp group to pull out your grievances?
So yeah, so when we had issues like that, I would speak to one point. When I had an issue with Adu from Ghana, and that appointment came from the UK board, we wrote a formal communication, and this is it. This is where professionalism comes into play. When we wrote the communication, I signed the communique, sent it out, and there was an emergency section call, and we channeled every point that we believe that made this young man not qualify at that particular given point in time to serve. And it was thoroughly investigated. And this process took like up to 2 months before they could find his replacement.
So you wrote a communication in that main case.
So
and you channel it through the proper channel.
I channeled my communication directly to the president.
So my question is this: why didn't you then do the same for Mr. Maurice Vani?
I did the same for Mr. Maurice Vani, and
but
I mentioned
the president has the president said he have concluded that Vani is going to retain his position.
Yes, he said it.
So that's what made it really well.
They imply, because with not alluding to what we discussed, with not alluding to what was posted in the executive chat room, with not alluding to the communication that came about, that spark up about this particular individual, but yet and still ignoring that fact and then coming up, well, they're still publishing it.
Okay, so people
to that of the case you mentioned, Mr. Abdul. When we mentioned that, the appointment was immediately withdrawn and put on hold until further investigation. Similarly, as I mentioned, every organization has its own chain of command. Probably the executive committee is a dictatorship committee. I don't want to assume that. But
the executive committee of Mr. Harry Cornelius, are you talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to assume that, but I'm feeling like that because if this was the case, where there's an issue, even if it's one executive member, that should be investigated, because that's a problem. If one person is coming up with it, and you know this particular situation has sparked up in the general meeting or general chat room before, so you should properly investigate before you come up with a listing, including this individual. But ignoring that fact and coming up like this, that shows a whole different disparity between this situation I'm giving you with the African Citizen Empowerment and that of the LAA.
Thank you. Now, how do you respond to criticism? Because I'm kind of concerned. This Alpha colleague, Ben, like, I don't know if you've been watching Bola TV, the raw materials from the elections, the debate. Mr. Alpha colleague has been coming at you. How do you respond to criticism? And besides that criticism, how do you respond? Talking about you writing run-on sentences and other things like that. I mean, how do you respond to such criticism?
You see, for me, like, I respect people's view, but his way of approaching things, definitely I will not follow him, because he always personal. He always going personal with attacking people and other things. And
you are talking to your community, not to me. I'm just
those issues that he raising, they are trivial issues that needed no response from me. He said, I resign, and which of course is my constitutional right. He said, you have issue with it. I agree. So you have issue with that. But how many percent of the community raising the issue? We have over 400%. I mean, in the chat room, we got almost 500% voted. So only he one raising issue. And so I will not run after him. So because one call it raising issue about my resignation, I'll run after him. Though. I will just keep focused on what I'm supposed to do for community development. I will do it.
Do you think the messaging about you from Mr. Alpha Colley is appropriate? If not, do you think the president is in error to appoint an individual that takes his messaging about the president's appointees in public and before you were even appointed?
I can't judge his intent, his thoughts, the way he do things and other things. But I can't question the wisdom of the president, the wisdom of the executive team. So it left with the individual how he proceed, but I will not proceed the way he proceed. Definitely, I'll be a different.
So you think the president will not in error to appoint an individual who is
I can't judge.
What's up?
I can't judge. I can't judge.
Talking the major rating, all kind of.
No, I can't judge the thought of the president. I don't know.
But the president appointed a man, though.
Yeah, he appointed, and that's a right of the president.
But he has a problem with the president appointing you.
No, but he got a problem, but it's not the community. So he just a single individual. So it's not the community.
All right, so describe a time or situation where you were tasked with influencing the community to come to meetings in the past or partake in any LAA project. Can you describe a time?
Yes, couple of friends. I've been talking to a couple of friends, even not only member of the Liberian community, other people, affiliating members, especially that my co-workers, I talk to them about the Liberian Association, even other friends, telling them about the importance of the Liberian Association. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Mr. Morris, you said that you have a degree in criminal justice. How does that degree relate or will help you in becoming the Secretary General for Constitution Review? Now, Constitution Review, can you tell me how does that?
Definitely, I will tell you, Mr. Bully. So, if you look at the Constitution, it's a legal instrument which serves as a compass, direction for the organization. So, if you read in the Constitution, there will be some legal terminologies. Yeah, legal terminology. Like if you read part of the Constitution, if you read in Constitution, there are words, there are terminology you do use in the Constitution. Like, they may. You don't use the word may. So these are things you need somebody that understands legal jargons, that will help in terms of reviews and stuff like that. So yes, so my being there will be very much
people raw on bulletin.
No, it's not that. No, I just
got jargon.
No, seriously.
Bring it down for our community.
Legal terminology, legal words.
But you got jargon now. BBT, don't talk here.
So even the Constitution, I really appreciate the wisdom of the president to appoint me on that committee, and especially my co-workers, George, Mr. George. I know he is very much knowledgeable. He and I interact.
Who's Mr. George?
One George, he lives in the committee too.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. If my someone speaking people, if my exegesis can serve me right.
Right? Yes.
You said earlier that the last government you were also appointed to be on the Constitution Board. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was before Steve. That was before Lester.
Yes, I'm coming.
Yeah.
So last government can go past by. You're also selected to be on the Constitution Board. Right?
Definitely, I was appointed.
Since that time when you're on the Constitution, has the Constitution changed up to Steve Bullitt? Did anything change?
No, normally they have been. Yeah. First of all, when I got appointed, the organization don't have constitution, so that was the first constitution.
So that's what I'm asking. Yeah. So you guys will put that constitution together. I
told you I attended one of the meetings.
So you attended one meeting?
Yeah, because I had family issue at the time, so I couldn't. Yeah, it was.
So did you resign at that time, or you yet took a Liberian or something?
Yeah, I told because the chairman said the chairman were aware because I was going through family issue. It was somehow psychological. For me, so
the one meeting you attended, did you ever, when you got appointed to that Walahala, did you ever review any part of the Constitution?
No, it was when we got appointed. It was when we got appointed. It was like there was no Constitution.
So you guys wrote that Constitution?
Definitely.
So you guys are one of the people that put.
I attended one of the meetings.
So you didn't help to write the Constitution?
I attend one of the meetings. I make some points, some suggestions.
What are the suggestions that you suggested that is in the Constitution today?
I can't remember. That have been like 4 or 5 years.
Do you remember when you were part of that one time you went to meet? Do you remember the provision of the Constitution and say?
We don't have Constitution. We don't have.
Well, you said you guys put it together.
Yeah, they put it together.
So my question is, do you remember at that time when you guys put it together, was there a provision in there that says that an individual must attend general meetings? Because that part was conflicted. If you watch the debate, there was questioning about the non-president attending meetings.
Yeah, but it left with the individual the interpretation, but the law is clear. The law says you should attend meeting before election, and the president attended meetings. He attended more than 2-3 meetings.
So now, since you're the legal person, according because you got criminal justice background, so that makes you legal.
A couple of my experience, I worked in the legislature for almost 15 years.
Under who?
In National Parliament.
In who office?
Central administration. It was not a specific senator or representative. I work in the central administration.
Okay.
So I have legislative experience.
Now that you are being put back again to the Constitution Review, this time as a Secretary General for the Constitution Review, right?
Right.
Where I think I went over some of the rules, right?
Yes.
To build consensus, to amend the Constitution, and to develop report, right?
Right.
What are some of the issues that you think right now, looking at the Constitution right now, that you think that is important, that you think will be tackled immediately?
Okay. The first one is I don't want to. Maybe when I raise the issue, it will be somehow will say it controversial.
No, I mean we can talk everything wrong, but okay. Oh yeah.
You can't have a constitution and says the executive. First of all, you don't have what they call a hair. The association doesn't have a hair. Yeah, it doesn't have a hair.
When you say the association doesn't have a hair, you have a specific number.
So everybody equals. Everybody equal. Elected official, the full elected official, there's no hair.
So which means the president, everybody equal?
The president, the vice president, because it's
well, the way elected, you said everybody.
I come in. So in the constitution, you say the executive team shall run the day-to-day affairs of the association. So you don't say the president, you say the executive team. So I mean the vice president, the secretary, and the financial secretary, they run their day-to-day. So there is no like equals, they're more equal, 4 equals. So first of all, if you read the instrument on that, it should be the president. The president shall run the day-to-day affairs because he's a president.
Okay.
In consultation with other members.
So which means, so let me ask you, are you saying that the president is not the only person that approves?
No, but technically, if you read that portion, that provision of the constitution that says the executive committee shall run, and you say the president shall run the association.
Then I'll bring to my question. The president just sent you your appointee letter?
The executive team, because the executive.
No, the president just sent you your, what I mean, sent you, what if an executive? Do you know in that particular letter, I also read, because I got both of them, it says that you can do what you want to do, but it must be run by the president. Can you read that letter?
No, I have not gone through.
Well, you got it. Well,
I said what? You can bring it out.
No, I mean, you have the letter there. So
my phone there. I don't read it.
Your phone is there?
Yeah, my phone is there.
So the president just sent it to you. The president, one of the letters he sent to me, the appointed letter he sent to me, for example, from your adversary, Mr. Avakoli, right? He says that Avakoli will be over the communication media, right? And publicists, right? But before he does anything, the president must approve it. And then you telling me that you say the executive, because that's what in there though. And you can fact check me if you want, because I went through it. He just barely sent me yours. I'm pretty much sure that appointment letter is the same as yours. Okay. But just maybe the different position. Okay. And there's also something in there that is in the letter, right? I want to understand. So when you say the executive, and then the president is sending an appointment letter that says that everything will be run by him, which one do we listen to now?
No, I think I don't want to speak to the fact because number one, I haven't seen the letter. I haven't seen it. I don't question you, but I have not seen it. But what I'm seeing here is the provision, a specific provision that I point out. Such provision should be clear that the executive is run by the president. Okay. Yes. So it
is not clear now in the constitution now.
Yeah.
So you say with the appointment letter as well.
No. I can't. No.
So that is a violation.
No, it's not a violation. I just want to point. Some people. No, listen, Mr. Bode. Yes, I just want to point out some issues that in the constitution that we need to visit. You get me?
Well, I just brought it up.
I mean, ambiguities in the constitution that it's not clear.
So that's what I'm saying.
So we need to, like the provision I talk about. We need to check. We need to look at that provision and make a amendment to that provision.
So, but for now, until you guys can do that,
yes.
Will you say the president did not follow the constitution?
No, I can't say that. I can't say that.
You haven't read it. I read it. I'm telling you what you say.
No, you can't.
Let me tell you exactly what you say. I read Alpha. Call this appointment letter.
No, but it's not alpha now. We talk about review. I want response to it.
No,
I want for us to do alpha because
we're not doing alpha. I'll keep the appointment letter too.
Okay, so the issue is I thought you were going to question me.
I'm questioning you.
My response. What will be the responsibility of the team?
No, listen now. You can't tell me how to question you.
No, but
because you continue
to mention alpha.
The reason why his name coming out in the appointment letter because in your appointment letter too, right? Okay. In his appointment letter, but we're talking about constitution here now. So you came up with a law that you say in that law that you need to check right away.
Just one.
Okay, so I'm saying there are many provisions. Yeah, so many provisions. So now that particular portion that you have problem with, it's still not clear as to whether the president can be the one to approve everything. The president, they won't put in one of the.
No, but there have been a precedent. There's something in law they call Sarah Disasi. Sarah Disasi is a doctrine of precedent. So other past leaders have been doing it.
So the president
so the constitution is not clear on that.
So let me ask you when you say other past leaders, so because other past leaders have been violating it?
No, it's not violation. It's not violation. No, there is not violation.
The constitution.
So once it was established, the precedent was established. That's Mr. Avintred did it. So that precedent is apparent.
Listen. So set precedents when you talk.
But precedent is law. That's what I'm saying.
No. Precedent is not a constitutional law for.
No, but it's law that can be used when there is no existing law.
But there is an existing law in this case.
No, the law is not clear. I say the law is not clear.
Yeah, but guess what?
There is an existing law, but the law is not clear as to who is the heir.
Well,
As to who is the head for the executive? Yes.
Our viewer listen to you.
Definitely.
You say you got a problem with that.
Yes, because it's not clear.
So until it can be changed, it is the law now. Do you agree with that? No, until listen now. Even though you have a problem, listen now. For example, even though you have a problem with that provision in the Constitution now, right? But it is the law now for the LA.
Okay.
Will you agree with me?
Yeah, it's a provision.
Okay. Yeah. Until it can be changed. So say it has not been changed here. You are saying now on camera saying that having to have violated that same law.
No, it's not violation. We'll talk about violation. So because listen, when the law is not clear, for instance, let's say we call the first instance. So we went to a specific law. We say, okay, we look at the law. We check the law is not clear. Okay. As to who's the head. I come in. So the law said the executive committee shall be run by the executive team, right? The day-to-day affairs.
I have no problem with that.
So right. So it say the president, but it say executive team. So how many person in executive team? 4 person. So 4 person, you can't just make it. I got 1 person.
Listen, I'm agreeing with you, but what I'm saying, one of the appointment letter that I saw.
Yeah, but it's not an issue. It's not an issue.
It's not an issue.
It's a violation.
You say
it's a precedent. It's a precedent. It's a precedent. Except we can break that precedent by amending the Constitution to make it clear. So in our provision, you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? The executive run the day-to-day affair. We say the president. The president shall run the day-to-day affairs in consultation.
Listen now, Mr. Warren. Right now, if they ask you, what does the Constitution say on a particular thing, say, what will you be reading to me? Will you be reading
the executive team shall run.
Okay.
Shall run.
If that bring the appointment letter, and we read that letter verbatim, and it says that in that, I'm not mentioning Alpha Court because I read both of your appointment letter.
Yes.
In this appointment letter, the president said, remember where we're committee then? The member do society, but it will be approved by the president.
Yes, because it's clear in Swan in the Constitution.
No,
so if you read it, I come not read.
No, but you said the Constitution said executive. Now you gotta say the president.
No, but listen. So when it comes to the media team, I think it should be Article 16, where it talks about there shall be media team. So that media team. Is it that media team should be approved? I mean, will be approved by the board and the president, the board chairman, and the president. That can speak. I can speak on behalf of the institution. If that person is authorized to do that,
let me come
by the president.
So
the president or the board chairman can do that.
Let me come to that.
So it was not a bad thing.
Let me come to that. I read it. You know already. So I read it.
Okay.
Because the reason why I asked the president to send those things to me last night, because I wanted to review what's in the appointment letter, and then I went to the provision of the Constitution. I'm glad you called it before me, because that was the question that was coming for you.
Okay.
So the contradiction there is there. When he sent that letter to me, I read it. He said something to me. I said, what is the Constitution provision for this? And the reason why is because you read it, so I want you to read your own.
No, but listen. So for being
it says that his appointed role, he will be supervised by the Secretary General. It did not specify which Secretary General. I mean, as the personal representative.
Yeah, go ahead.
He will be supervised by the Secretary General, right? He will be responsible on media. Publicists, etc. Right?
Okay, so let me read section 16. I mean Article 16, section 3. It said the media department shall be chaired by the general secretary.
Okay, so specify that.
Yeah. So it's clear, right?
It's clear in there, but in the appointment letter, it's not clear which secretary will supervise it.
The general secretary.
No, it's not clear in the appointment letter. I will fact check myself during this video. I will put it up. Because I have the appointment letter, I will put both of them up so you can see it. It says the Secretary General.
Yeah, you
are a Secretary General too, right?
I was.
Secretary no, you appointed. You appointed Secretary General, right?
Yes.
But if you put in an appointment letter, the media man should be supervised by the Secretary General. That is now also clear in the appointment letter. The Constitution is saying it clear. It says there that you're rare. It says what?
No, I just you let me try to read the whole.
The portion right there said the Secretary General should supervise the man. But in the appointment letter, it says Secretary General. The Secretary General of what? Can you read that 16 again? You're reading?
Article
16.
No, Article 7, sorry.
Oh, no, but the really 64, the one that really don't teach you.
Yeah, so article.
So Bullet TV will capture everything wrong here. So you're with.
Okay.
Tell me about the time in your role as the coordinator where you had a significant impact on the community.
One, I will speak of a couple of them. So
you can just give me one or two.
Yeah, I firstly organized the region. I organized 5 regional summits in 3 different categories. One, I had I ran the Civic Leadership Forum. I also run the Business and Entrepreneurship Forum, and I run Civic Management. So, with these forums organized, we work directly with UC to empower those people in specific field, like for leadership, government and leadership, civic leadership, like for civic management, talking about non-governmental organization, talking about young people who are into the environmental sector but want to privatize business, like waste management, like innovation in waste and stuff like that. So we're able to link them with requisite organizations and institutions that are able to fund them. We got people like we can speak about Kafi from Ghana and Akari. They do waste to wealth. He turned plastics into school bags for kids. We have people in Liberia. We have tons of young people around who benefited from this program. And these are not just all of the program is, and because of what we did during our time, we got tons of recognition. I'll go back to that. Good thing you brought that up. I hate talking about it, but it was because of that. That particular program yielded me. Never mind. That particular program yielded me to the Young African Leaders Initiative Program Regional Leadership Center in Accra, Ghana, where I had to spend 6 weeks to learn leadership and business entrepreneurship at the Ghana Institute of Public Management and Administration, and that was awesome. I was sponsored by the United States government. I also had the opportunity to represent Africa at COP.
Okay, but Mr. Colley, let me just call it. This is Bullet TV. You have to answer the question raw. Mr. Colley,
yes, sir.
I see that your role impacted you. You're talking about what impact you are. In advance, you did this, you did that.
Yeah.
My question, how did it impact the community?
Oh, I just mentioned about people who benefited from the programs, and those people today are still contributing. Those programs are still running. I just spoke about waste to wealth in Ghana. Okay. It's still running.
Well,
I also spoke about in Liberia, the Global Green Village Enterprise. In Liberia, we can also talk about the Youth Climate Change Initiative, YCCI, run by Telly Taylor, who today happens to be the 8th focused person at the Environmental Protection Agency. We have tons of people. We have Eddie Mensko, who also run another program in Liberia that also benefited from the Young African Leaders Initiative. He came through the African Citizen Empowerment Program, and we have lots and lots of people who came through this program and benefited from it.
Thank you, Mr. Colley. People, you are watching Bullet TV, where we say everything here raw. So we got Mr. Colley, Mr. Alpha Colley here today in the house spot, and I would like to thank him for taking the time to come sit with Bullet TV so we can have this fruitful discussion. Mr. Colley, may I ask, what is your education level?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I mean, I hate speaking about this, but
well, I mean, we have to know you're in the community now. If you talk about Murray Vani can do wrong sentences, and he's not fit to be your Secretary General for the past administration, and he's still not fit to be appointed by the president now. So just a little legitimate question. What's your education level?
All right, yeah. So let me start with I'll start with the bottom and come top. Okay. Like the last point, as I'm very clear about it, and even the president has spoke on this. When I'm speaking about Mr. Morris Vani case, I always point finger directly to what he did. His action is questionable. So
the wrong sentences is one of the questionable things.
Whether he had like 4 or 5 masters, 7, 8 masters, it still doesn't mean anything if he cannot satisfy a specific role. And his role was SG. If you want to resign as a Secretary General or as a Secretary General for the Board of Directors within the LAA, it's only prudent enough, my young man. Write a formal communication. Even if that one line you want to send, make it formal, send it to the board. Let the board share this, or you can even bring it out to us. But sending a text message, I resign.
Well, no, I understand that. So let me. Being an SG, the run-on sentences part. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So that alone shows us, like, okay, so is this what you've been doing? Is this how you really been taking meetings, making reports with these kind of run-on sentences or stuff you've been doing?
That's what I'm getting.
Is that what
So let's get to your education.
So with my education,
okay,
I do have a BSc in public administration. I'm currently a dual master student. I'm doing both public. I'm doing my master's in healthcare administration and healthcare informatics. So that's it about me. And my
you got a bachelor's degree from which university?
I attended the University of Liberia.
So now you're doing another dual masters.
Dual masters.
At which university?
I'm doing one at Rasmussen, and I'm doing the other one at Kampala University.
Online?
Online, yeah.
Okay. Article 17, sorry, it's not 16. 16 about you. So Article 17, Section 3. It said the media department shall be chaired by the General Secretary. The website shall be vetted by the General Secretary in collaboration with the Secretary of the Board.
Perfect. That made it clear already. Yeah. Right? That specification is very clear. I got a clear understanding of that part, right? I read that last letter too, because I have the whole constitution. What I'm saying in the appointment letter. Okay, so let me end it now. So
So it said no articles or publication shall be published to the organization website or social media without prior approval by the executive committee.
Okay.
Yeah.
So stop right there. By the executive committee.
Yes.
That's what that constitution says.
Yeah, executive
the appointment letter says.
Because the executive committee run the to DFS. Yes.
I'm not disagreeing with you. The appointment letter says by the president. What do you say about that?
No, but I want to say it's not a violation. It's not a violation.
But my man.
Yeah.
No. Let me ask you. By the executive committee and by the president. So executive committee, listen now. Executive committee are a collective group of people. Right? A collective group of people. By the president, it's a single person. Okay, so it's not the same thing. So it's just matter the how to call it. So you expect four person to write one letter. But guess what? Give me a chance to sound one letter. So in a wisdom of the executive team, they say, okay, Mr. President, because your authority, you preserve the power of the president is to preserve, and once you have that power, that authority, so it's based upon that the wisdom of the executive team. They say, but if that person will not sign, the secretary will not sign. So you sign the letter. Then guess what? Yeah. So you see, you said something about you did criminal justice and you said something about constitution. Let me tell you something about constitution. Constitution is like terms and conditions. They are direct and exact. No, law is not. You see, so how people perceive. Come on, listen. Law is not common. I don't want for you to say law is. No, but listen now. You remember you said something, right? No, you said the law will not say maybe. That said, will not be the constitution. Yeah, right? Sure. Okay. Yeah, you sure. Let me tell you now. One of the things I'm really good at is writing contracts. Okay. When you said that, the reason why I did not disagree with you because it's almost somebody writing terms and conditions. Yeah, that's it. That's it. So what I'm saying, when I say constitution is exact and direct. Sha is a direct. You remember, yeah, minute ago. Okay, yes. So you can't tell me I'm lying. What I'm saying right there, right? The Constitution says the executive committee. So what's the issue? What's your issue? So the issue here that you've been trying to judge for the best you guys have. Was it a violation when the president did the appointment to sign when he did the appointment letter and said that he should approve anything from the media man? Was it contrary to what the Constitution is saying? No, it's not contrary. Okay, so then why was it not written? Because listen now, you can't write two different things, right? You can't write two different things. What if the man comes today, right? Where if that guy appointed come today and say, well, any executive committee want to come and approve it? You say you're not allowed to approve it because according to my appointment letter, it says the president must approve it. Will you say he wrong? No, that's just right? Let me just explain that part. So you know why I don't raise issue to say whether it's in violation of the Constitution, if violated or not. Yeah, but the issue here is clear. I want to say there have been precedent. I come in. So there have been precedent, right? So there have been listen. There have been no issue for any executive member. I come in. So it can only be raised, but I want to say I don't know why you raise now. It's not an issue for you to raise. No, listen. What I'm raising here, you see, this is what happened. You do not have to wait for the issue to be raised before you get concerned about it. One of the things people who wrote the famous about even Liberian Constitution when they were writing that thing, They preempt things. They say before this thing can happen, let's put it where there. Before the thing can happen. Now, what people who write, that's what they do. They don't wait for things to happen, even though sometimes it's happy, but sometimes you can't wait for things to happen and say, oh, because you raise an issue here, so we'll leave it like that. What I'm saying, like for example, if I was appointed and I saw that letter, well, the person say anything I do must be approved by him.
Approved by the executive committee?
No, by him. Because I want the appointment letter say, one thing I will show it to you, and I will put it up after this video so people can see what I'm saying. Say by him. And then tomorrow, the person is not right, and the executive member can show me that constitution. If I take my appointment letter and show to them, and they see the provision in my appointment letter, I say the president, I should pass by the president. Do you think I'll be wrong to argue with them even though they got a constitution? Those are two contradicting statements.
No, it told me it's not coming. Okay,
so the constitution says executive. So the other one say 1%. They say not contradictory. But let's move on, Mr.
So let me make this clear. So again, wouldn't it be an issue if somebody from the executive raise it? But I mean, it's a consensus. It's a consensus. It's a consensus that they met. You know, I think you might always on the person will just sit there and say, "Oh, you appointed people where." Yeah, no,
listen now.
You appoint people where I'm consulting.
I'm not saying. I'm not saying it's an issue.
Listen, I believe that there were consultation. And after the consultation was made, before the appointments were made.
Mr. Morris.
So after the appointments, the president was
Mr. Morris.
The president signed.
Let me tell you where I'm coming from. I said, what if? I'm not saying it's an issue raised by any of the committee. I said, what if? Because things can happen.
But until it happened, but it happened. So
until it happened, you have the two contradictions.
All
right. So
there's no contradiction.
I hold you following the conversation here.
There's no contradiction.
Discussion here with Mr. Maurice Vanley, the leader secretary general, appointed by the president for the constitution review. Mr. Vanley here was appointed by the president to build consensus and to amend the earlier constitution and then develop reports, etc. So whenever you see any kind of a contradiction or anything wrong in that constitution, that one of the name of what's in that right here. But anyway, Mr. Vanley, thanks for coming to Bolo TV. I enjoy you guys. I hope you guys enjoy the program. This is just a short interview with Mr. Vanley. It's been a long time we're in catch up. Mr. Vanley, how were you appointed to your last role in the past? Was it verbal appointment or written appointment? The last role you had in the last associate.
I'm talking about before
you got appointed. They still hold the appointment.
I was elected.
So you were elected.
Both positions are elected positions.
So you were elected by the people.
Yes.
The board members or the community.
Yeah, the body.
The board, you see the body.
So there are three kinds of memberships. I mean, how to call it? The Constitution. So the Constitution talks about the executive team and the board and the body. So the body is the most powerful. It's the people. So I was elected by the people. General meeting.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice to know. Well, Mr. Vanley, before we go, or do you have any last word, anything for Alpha Collie or any last word?
No, I don't want to dignify Alpha. Alpha is less important. I don't want to talk about him.
Give your party statement to your
has
audience.
Own responsibility. Then he forgot on his responsibility. What he's supposed to do. But most of it, I felt cheated because I thought we were going to discuss about my responsibility. What would be my responsibility?
Well, I asked you about your responsibility.
Definitely, I told you. I said would be like reviewing the Constitution, provisions of the Constitution, maybe making some amendment.
And we got into that, but
thank you very much.
But we can't go to specific about the whole Constitution because if you want us to sit down and go specific, who going to trust me? And I eat that whole Constitution raw.
I trust your ability. I trust your ability.
The person I made sent that to me a long time ago, and before I can even pick up an interview to talk to somebody.
Okay, to conclude.
So what will be a party statement?
To conclude.
Because just before we talk about the executive and individual.
Okay, so to conclude, I much appreciate the president for allowing me to serve on the our team and the executive team. Definitely, I will perform. I'll work along with my colleagues to make sure the trust are reposing us. Definitely, we will perform to expectation.
So just hypothetically, if anything come up, will you resign with text message in the WhatsApp group again for the position, just in case,
No, but you see, this.
I didn't ask you a question.
No, but they're not specific way to resign.
Okay, so now that you're part of the Constitution review, do you think it will be important for you to put it in there?
So when it comes to the board, the Constitution doesn't spell out anything. Doesn't spell out anything concerning resignation. It only talks about the executive. And I can't resign to the president.
That's true.
Yeah,
what I'm saying, in the past, the Constitution and personally, the Constitution does not give any requirement as to how one can resign, right?
Right.
But I'm asking you
board member.
Yeah,
board member.
But what I'm asking you now, since you have been assigned or appointed by the president to be the SG on the review, are you going to suggest something to people so people can appropriately resign so they don't resign the way you resign raw in the past?
These are some of the things that we'll look at in the Constitution.
All right, Mr. Vanny, any parting comment before we go?
Yes, I just want to appreciate you, Mr. Bode, for coming to my restaurant. I'm a resident to interview me. I appreciate that, girl. Thank you very much.
All right, this has been the Bode TV production. You heard the man himself, the SG, the leader appointed SG to review your Constitution raw. You go and post on inside, so nobody can resign like the way you resigned in the past. Well, let's say to everybody. The reason why I'm asking you all these questions, and we are coming to the end of this interview, is that you have not agreed to your appointment yet, but you set a tone of messaging in the community WhatsApp group that may seem negative to some. Do you still believe this is the right position for you? Because one of your role as described in this position, the president appointed you to, let me just say that, is to be supervised while working with other committees. What if there is a disagreement with one of the members in any of the committee over the credentials? We should expect similar attack, right, on them as you're doing with Mr. Vanny, or similar approach on them too, right?
I mean, I'm still trying to do away with the war attack.
Okay, let's take the war attack if you want to. But I mean,
and then another thing I want to also dispel is the issue of credentials. We're not talking about credentials over here.
Well, I'm just asking the question.
I get it. So
you get disagreement because let me just say, you say Mr. Vanny as a Secretary General already run on sentences.
Run on sentences.
And you believe that you
refusing to compose a resignation letter.
Correct.
So we have to question him.
So you consider that he was being disrespectful because you were chapping.
Dishonest.
So you consider him disrespectful because they were chapping.
No, not because he was not because he was just chapping.
And then he went in the rest of you. So what I'm saying now, you have another person because your role, one of your roles is that you should be working with other committees now.
I'm working with. So here is it.
What if there's a disagreement with one of the members in any of the committee over the credentials? We should expect similar, you don't want to use the word attack, but I mean, other people describe it as attack. From you, as Mr. Vanny, right?
My thing here is what is done on the left hand should also be done on the right hand.
So you will go after and you will go on WhatsApp.
If, and only if, so help me God. If we have an issue that is out of order, this is what I want you to understand and what I want the Liberian people or the Liberian community to understand. If we have an issue that is out of order, definitely, this is what we're going to do. We're going to engage the leadership of that committee first to rectify that. If it cannot be handled at that point, we're going to bring it out to the executive committee to resolve that. If those two people gonna ignore it, then definitely the members gotta know what's going on.
All right, that was the voice of Mr. Alpha Calling. Mr. Alpha Calling, let me get your closing so we can climax this interview. I really enjoyed the interview. I like the way you came at the questions. You were really straightforward. Any final word before we can leave?
So I'll just say thank you very much for the opportunity. Again, I'm a high school graduate. Forget my credentials, forget about everything. The reality here is, if you are called to serve diligently. Put your mind and your soul, your everything. Give your all in all. If you know you can't or you will not be able because of schedule or your time or your availability, it's preferable to step aside and allow the people to do. But during your turn of serving, if you find a problem or you find ills, speak about it. Do not hold back and wait for the end of the journey. If that's something you cannot settle within, speak about it and step aside. And if you know you cannot work with it. Conclusively concluding on this matter, again, Mr. Maurice Vani have been dishonest and disrespectful, not just to the past board, but to the association. He owes this body an apology. And also, notwithstanding, if that cannot be done, if he cannot apologize and send a formal communication, he, at this point, cannot serve on another committee. Thank you very much, and I hope this goes to the outgoing chairman as well. We still need your resignation letter.
Thank you. That was the voice of Mr. Alpha Colley. Follow us on YouTube, James Bullet, Facebook, James Bullet. Bullet TV will be bringing everything raw to you. You are going to be seeing discussions such as this one we just hired in the community, where people who have grievances will be called to Bullet TV to let us know why they feel the way they feel. Now, you heard the man raw. Anybody who get credentials can chop the Maurice Vani. You will be calling, you will be going, what's up, all over the place, they're attacking you raw. So